Good afternoon. Today is the 9th of July and it's time for that moment in the month where we go on a little ramble, a little rant, and I talk about the top 10 best-selling cars of June 2020, whether you like it or not. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. What we're going to be doing today is looking at the SMMT statistics for new car sales in Britain last month, and we will be comparing those sales with June 2019. The way we do it is we look at how many cars a certain manufacturer or how many cars a certain segment was sold, and we compare the two. So if I say that, for example, in the private sector for June 2019, there were 90,122 cars sold that month, and in 2020 there were 72,827 cars sold. That is a 19.2% change. I won't be going into all the exact figures that were sold. I tend to focus upon the market change percentage. So if I say a sector is down by 19.2%, then you'll know what I mean, in comparison with 2019, with that particular month. And when we look at the top 10 best-selling cars as a list of their own, we'll just be looking at the raw figures. Right, let's get into this. So we've already mentioned about the private sector for June 2020 as opposed to June 2019. That is 19.2% down. It's not actually that bad considering what's been going on. With fleet registrations, that is a 45.2% drop. It's not really surprising. Companies probably have other priorities than replacing all their fleets at the moment. Business sectors even more. That's down 52.6%. So although the private sector is quite strong, actually, relatively speaking, we are looking at a 35% drop overall in new car registrations between June 2019 and June 2020. Let's now look at the breakdown of fuel. So diesel's down by 59%. Not really much of a surprise. Diesel is getting to be a niche fuel, bizarrely, these days. For many cars, there are still some which are brilliant with diesel, but many manufacturers are now going towards alternative powertrains, hybrids, plug-in hybrids, mild hybrids, really anything they can to meet these strict new figures that were introduced quite recently, to have an average fleet figure of 95 grams per kilometre of CO2 per car and manufacturer sells. There are only some exceptions to this, and so diesel, with its rather mixed reputations, not quite doing it. Obviously, battery electric cars are doing very well. Petrol's still down. That's down by 40%. Battery electric vehicles, enormous increase. 262% increase. The market share of battery electric cars in 2019 was 1.1%. Now it's 6.1%. That's crazy. Plug-in hybrid electric vehicles up by 117% on June 2019. Hybrid vehicles without plug-in capability up by 19.3%. That's now 7% of the entire market. Mild hybrid diesel, things like the Kia Sportage, mild hybrid, they are up by 53%. Mild hybrid petrols, that's pretty much all Suzuki's range now, and lots of other manufacturers too, like Toyota, that's up by 63%. So what used to be called alternative fuels really aren't so much anymore. Let's now look at the bestsellers for June 2020. This is looking a lot more normal than it was in March, April and May. Number 1, Vauxhall Corsa. This will be the new Corsa F. I did do a walk around of one of those on my channel actually, and the new Corsa E just before lockdown happened, if you want to have a look at that. Ford Fiesta, no surprise again there, 4,386, so just behind the Corsa. Not so much that it makes too much of a difference. Toyota Yaris, 4,200. They really are really throwing some great deals down on the Yaris at the moment ahead of its replacement later this year. The Ford Focus, 3,551. The Mini, 3,400. We really love our Minis in this country. Volkswagen Golf. Now, the reason I think it's so far down is because the Golf Mark 8 isn't really up to speed yet, and probably stocks of the Golf Mark 7.5 are quite low, so that's probably why it's not higher. Mercedes A-Class, 2,889. That is probably where normally it should be. So that's number 7 on the list. Then 8th, Nissan Qashqai, a perennial bestseller in this country, really. 2,821, despite the fact the car's been on sale for 7 years. Doesn't really seem to affect it very much. Tesla Model 3, again, recent months a huge seller, and actually stopped me putting other on the statistics now. They just call it the Tesla Model 3 on here, which is helpful. Thank you, SMMT. 2,517. And then the Volkswagen Tiguan, again, a very regular visitor to the top 10, 2,494. Now it's time for me to take a look at how each individual brand sold on the UK market is doing. And once again, we're comparing June 2019 to June 2020, and the percentage change I will mention. So as always, we start with Abarth. That's a 17.8% decrease, considering we've only got one model on sale, which is the variations on the Abarth 595 and 695. That's not really too surprising. So anything that's above a 35% decrease is good, so that's actually okay. Alfa Romeo down 29%. It's not too bad. They could probably do with having some new models at the moment. The Tonale will be probably replacing with Giulietta, I imagine, actually, because I don't know if they're even going to replace that. Alpine is down by 20%. Audi down by 43%. I don't know particularly why that is. Who knows? Bentley up by 9%. That's very good. We're talking very small numbers here. Only 102 cars sold by Bentley last month, but nevertheless, it's very good. BMW down by 47%. I know the Sytner Group and BMW are doing very well, though. So this is presumably the whole of the country, and not everybody is as good as selling the cars as Sytner are. Then we've got Citroën. They're down by 49%. Again, I don't really know why that would be above anything else. Dacia down by 29%, but that's not too bad. DS down by 56%. Again, I'm not really sure why. Fiat down by 24%. Much better than Citroën. Ford down by 38%. I don't know why they'd be down below the market average, but there we go. Honda down by 58%. That's quite a jump. I think perhaps the new E and the new Jazz and Jazz Crossover that are coming out might help reverse that. Hyundai down by 53%. Again, not really sure why that is. Kia and Hyundai one tends to do better than the other for some reason, although they're pretty much the same company. Jaguar down by 42%. Again, don't really know why. Jeep down by 25%. Jeep are actually doing pretty well in the market at the moment. They're quite surprisingly, actually, how well they're doing. Kia down by 35.5%, so just a little bit below average. It's not too bad. Land Rover down by 28%, so they're a luxury brand that's doing very well. Lexus, this is good, up by 13%, so it's not really the case that all the luxury brands aren't doing very well. Maserati down by 40%. Mazda down by 61%. Again, I don't really know why that would be over anything else. Mercedes-Benz down by 36%. That's pretty average. MG, wow, up by 88%. 88% in a market decline of 35%. That's incredible. You would have seen the car in the thumbnail, the brand new 2020 ZS. The full review of that car will be up next week, by the way. Yeah, that car wasn't actually launched though until the end of the month, so it can't be that. Maybe they're just trying to clear the stocks out of these ZSUV and ZS, things like that. Excellent though, excellent work. Mini down by 43%, Mitsubishi down by 48%. Mitsubishi probably do need some new models now, I think. They did have the brand new ASX at the end of last year, but that's really a very heavy facelift of the car. It's been on sale for 10 years, so yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Nissan down by 36%, not too bad. Peugeot down by 29%, that's an excellent result actually for Peugeot. Porsche down only by 0.19%, very good indeed. Renault down by 23%. I imagine that's probably because they're selling lots of the new Captures and the new Clios. Seat down by 40%, not particularly sure why. Possibly because the old Leon's been discontinued and the new one hasn't come on full stream yet. Skoda down by 28%. They probably still have lots more Octavias left, and they have been doing some quite good deals actually recently. Smart down by 72%. Again, that's not particularly relevant anyway because Smart's having a relaunch quite soon as an all-electric brand. SsangYong, very well done to SsangYong this month. Sales are up from 122 in June 2019 up to 159 last month. That's an excellent result of 30%. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That might be due to a new Tivoli, but I'm not entirely sure. Subaru down by 82%. No idea why they'd be doing so badly. I think they've got the new e-boxes out now, so who knows. Suzuki down by 55%. That's probably because they've recently withdrawn all the non-hybrid models from sale and their range, and things like the Vitara has gone up significantly in price due to that, and the SX4 S-Cross, so possibly, but I don't really know. Toyota, fantastic, they're plus 3%. That's very, very good. It's by far the best performance from any of the mainstream brands. The MG and SsangYong are still quite a minority in this country, so for example, SsangYong's got a 0.05% market share, whereas Toyota's got a 5% share, so yeah, there you go. Vauxhall's down by 41%. I don't particularly know why that would be, with the best-selling car in the country being one of theirs. Volkswagen, they're down by 39%, which is quite a decrease for them. Again, probably due to the Golf Mark 8 not being fully on sale here yet. Volvo down by 2.33, up by no, just read this properly here. Volvo down by 17%. I do apologise, I really did a wrong figure. Other British, I don't know why, that's probably Caterham and things like that. They're down by 43%. And then other imports, this is presumably just Teslas. That's up by 447%. I can safely say, viewers, that is mainly due to the Tesla Model 3 being sold in large numbers over here now. And then overall, of course, down by 35%. So there we are, more penetrating market analysis and rambling and ranting and things like that, but I know you love it really, so there we go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for more of the same. Don't forget to like this video and to leave a comment below. If you wish me to source a car for you, then please visit my website www.lloydvehicle.co.uk. For you to get in touch with me, there is a contact tab on the front page there. And thank you ever so much once again for watching.